I am not Professor Tremolo, but I have some experience with my sufferings with tremolo units. And I was just on the gear page and people are talking about tremolo blocks and the components of them and the problems. So I thought I'd chime in with my 2 cents. So this is an American standard from 1997. And it used to have this block in there, which is an American standard block, which is a steel block. Nothing wrong with the block, but I wanted a cold rolled steel block that somebody that I found made. He makes them himself, allegedly true to vintage Fender specs, so I gave it a shot and I really liked it. The saddles, the old style American standard saddles, are powdered block saddles, which I never liked the look of them. It just looks wrong to me. And they have the screw, the intonation screw, offset, not in the center. So I got, because I wanted to have that vintage look, I got Callahan saddles. These actually may be off. I don't know where my Callahan block is. Never mind. So I got these Callahan saddles because they make them with the screw offset, but steel bent steel. And you see the CGE logo. So I don't know if they're better. They may be, I don't know. I can tell one problem with them that every other saddle has is that when the string travels, you can see, this is a whatever, you can see the indentation of the string and it gets sharp edges, and that causes your strings to break. And as you can tell, this is the high E string, so this is probably not ideal. But what you do against this, to remedy this problem, you just get sandpaper and you just sand off the rough edges, and there you go. So, and your strings won't break anymore. So that solves that problem. Another problem people have is a wobble with the tremolo arm. Now I'm finding that this is a problem of proper threading from the hole the tremolo arm goes in, and the threading on the tremolo arm itself. Because if the quality control, which is suffering in any department on earth, and in the olden days it was just a lot better, so that's a problem of that, which this solved. Now the steel blocks that I get are just, they just come like this. This is a cheap zinc block, but you get the block on the arm. So that's the tremolo arm. These are the mounting screws of the plate, because the tremolo block is a block, and then it's got the plate that's being screwed on there, and it's being held on the block. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 screws. That's those 3 screws. And that's a 6-screw bridge. So this goes in the body, and then you got the tremolo arm. So those are the components of the block. So when you get these, the ones that I'm getting now, you just get the block on the arm. And the arm is stainless steel, and I talked about that in the other video because this one broke off, and it happens to people. I've read about that on the gear page just now. And so wobble and breaking of tremolo arms, which Fender's tremolo arms are really nothing to write home about. And this one's stainless steel, so this one will never break. So that's a positive. And the threading is great because they stay put, you know. You can put them right here, and then the unit functions a lot better because you have the flutter. It just functions very well, and it just stays put wherever you want it. And this one I've had for a couple of years, so it's still going. So no wobble, no breaking off, which is great. I used to have Graphtec saddles on here. See? They look the same as the American standards. They're just made out of graphite, so that solves the string breakage problem because graphite's very soft and it's self-lubricating, air quotes, whatever. So, but I didn't like the look, especially because they're black and, you know, whatever. I just like the vintage look, so I got these Callahan saddles. Callahans are very important, the block units. They run you about 200 maybe, I think. The American vintage 5762 tremolo unit is about 160 maybe. And the one that I have in here, it's the block on the arm. No saddles, no plate, no screws, but it runs you about 38. So, you know, I always take these original saddles, screws, because why not? And the plate, you know. There may be a difference in sound in steel and brass. I have not tried brass yet. I'm very happy with the US cold rolled steel. Guitars resonate a lot better. In my opinion, my guitars sound a lot better. The overall unit functions a lot better. Now, if your Strat doesn't hold tuning, it's not because it's a poor design and you need a locking system. It's because you don't know how to wind strings. Sorry, that's just what that is. And this has something to do with it, the functioning of the tremolo, if you use it, of course, to hold the tuning, because the way that the plate comes down evenly. And there's a trick to that too if you're not a mechanic. With these 3 screws that hold the plate on the block. So the plate comes down evenly, but holding and keeping tuning on a Strat is, you can have a floating tremolo, you can use the arm, and the thing will hold the tuning because the design, thank you Leo Fender, is really great. So I got a guitar recently, which is a Mexican-made classic 60s, and when I got it, I switched it out already, but the block was all the way to the body, lockdown tremolo, because, you know, the person obviously thought that Fender's tremolo arm ain't worth a shit, so can't use it. But I fixed it, see, and now it's floating, and it functions just fine. This one also has a stainless steel tremolo arm, and original Fender bridges. The only thing that I changed out was this block that was in here, and the arm. So now it's got a stainless steel tremolo arm. I talked about this in the other video too. And the stainless steel, the cold rolled steel block, but the saddles, the screws, and the springs, and the plate are the same. And this functions perfectly now. So there you go. Proper threading of the arm and the hole in the tremolo block. Material, brass may make a difference as opposed to cold rolled steel. I don't know. It's got a lot to do with personal preference, and if you give a guitar with a zinc block to Scott Henderson or Culver High-End, they're probably gonna sound just great and just fine. So, you know, it's got a lot to do with the player, but the functionality of the unit has a lot to do with how well it's made, the quality control that goes in it, the components and materials used. So, as I said, the problem with the string breakage, you just use a little sandpaper and sand off the sharp edges, and your problem is solved. Proper threading of the arm and the block, you just get yourself a nice quality block. Now I thought that's what I'm gonna do and get myself a 5762 block, but then the thing broke off, so that's why I did my research, and a friend of mine turned me on to this guy who makes these stainless steel, which they will never break. So now I have cold rolled steel block, which with proper threading, functionality of the trem is a lot better. Stainless steel arms don't break. Wobble is solved, and this string breakage I fixed by using sandpaper. So this unit, because, you know, I use the original saddle, springs, and plate, the tremolo block is about 34 with shipping, and the arm is about 8, so I don't know, 38, 40 bucks. I always forget. And as you can see, I have a lot of them because all the guitars I buy, I switch out the blocks because I like these a lot better. So I hope this will help you with your own setup, because I know that's a problem that a lot of people have, and they blame it on the guitar or the design, which it's not to blame. It's just the materials used, and it can be fixed, because back in the day, Fender did a great job. When you buy a vintage guitar, they function just properly fine. So quality and control problems are modern problems because cost-saving measures. So there you go. I hope that helps you. It helped me a lot, and I'm really happy with this. So there you go.